Eric and Nikki, I want you guys to take a look at some of the damage here. This car has significant body damage after it fell. This branch is huge. And one big concern that neighbors have is that the robber got away with the keys that the postman was carrying, which means he can get access to their mail. I'm here on the west shore of the Sacramento River in Redding, where so many had hoped the close proximity to the river may have helped save their homes. But unfortunately, too many are going to be coming home to this. A complete loss. Yeah, we'll tell you, Nikki, they are trying to shut it down. We have already been attacked several times by these protesters. And the owners of the roller rink believe that the thief actually had this plan all worked out because they say he actually brought this rock that he used to break the window with him. Allie, you guys might remember, I'm going to step out of the way. We showed you this car at 5 o'clock. It had just started to catch fire. The fire department actually came out, already put it out, but then it caught fire again on its own. The rangers tell us part of that alcohol ban is because when people are in the water, they're not drinking enough water. So if the old bridge staying where it is, the new bridge will go just upriver from that, making it the new I Street Bridge. Now the resort says they were just expecting 3 to 6 inches, but they actually ended up with between 10 to 14. It has a lot of people who are skiing here today saying this is the best conditions they've had all season. And the most frustrating part about all of this is this damage to the door. This small little hole is going to cost hundreds of dollars to fix, and that money's going to come out of their pocket. And a lot of families have been coming here today saying this is part of their Thanksgiving tradition to get a tree from this lot, and they're extremely disappointed to find they're gone. And among the destruction, neighbors tell us they are looking for signs of hope in their neighborhood, one of which they found here is these carrots they say sprouted after the fire has burned through, and they're seeing this as an omen to perhaps one day rebuild here. In Redding tonight, Doug Johnson, Fox 40 News.
We are Republic! We are Republic! We are Republic! Let's go, Sacramento!
More than 2,000 miles between Sacramento to New York City. It's a trip only a dedicated fan would make.
Everybody's taking off work. Everybody's flying 2 red eyes to get here.
For Seth Spitch and his dozens of fellow Republic FC fans, this was a pilgrimage they couldn't pass up.
SRFC! The club for me! You know, that's how much we care.
Sacramento!
Republic!
Sacramento!
Republic!
Totally didn't have time to plan for anything. It was pack a little knapsack, bring a sweater, and transfer some money from your savings account to your checking account because it's a total rodeo.
Glory, glory, Sacramento! Glory, glory, Sacramento!
That's dedication Republic FC fan groups like Spitch's Levy Patrol and the Tower Bridge Battalion have grown accustomed to.
This is 5 years of sellouts, you know, 105-degree games on a Tuesday.
Bring it home! Bring it home! Bring it home!
Perhaps not used to this fan enthusiasm is MLS Commissioner Don Garber. These fans took the red-eye to New York to beat Garber to his office this morning, arriving at 6:30 a.m. to show their team's spirit. Spirit which surprised him.
Yelling at him, he ran into his office. He knew we're here. He knew we're showing up.
We got the best fan base in the country.
Also showing up, Sacramento Mayor Darrell Steinberg, who accompanied Sac Republic CEO Kevin Nagel.
What other city has this behind us? Couldn't be prouder of Sacramento.
Yeah, read it. It's just hilarious.
Spitch likes to point out the other 3 cities in the running, Detroit, Nashville, and Cincinnati, had no fan presence at the MLS headquarters.
If they really cared, they might be here.
In New York City, Doug Johnson, Fox 40 News. You just mentioned the fires. Let's have you take a quick live look. That is the river fire. It is burning. It is very active at this hour. We have a lot of aircraft trying to hit it from the air, trying to get these flames that you're looking at right now out. But again, this is just one of 2 fires burning in Lake County. I can actually see the plumes from the ranch fire that's not too far away, and you can see those flames and just how huge they really are and just what a danger this really is to this community.
I got all 5 engines en route to your location with 212.
In the mountains between Hopland and Lakeport along Highway 175, river fire is burning ever closer to homes in Lake County.
Yeah, everything's packed in the trucks, ready to go.
Juan Soria has stayed behind in the evacuation zone only because he does not have enough trailers to move all of his cattle.
I had some of them loaded up, and then I had some friends on standby with trailers to come get the cows. And other than that, the only thing we could do is open the gates and let them roam so they can run.
Also running are the residents of Lakeport, Kelseyville, Nice, and Upper Lake.
Well, I don't know. It's coming this way, so it's going to heat up both sides of the road here, and it's real hot just around the turning.
CAL FIRE evacuating them all as the river and ranch fires threaten more than 10,000 structures.
It's the safest thing for all the residents here. If the fire is going to make a big push into town, we needed to make sure that they were out.
Both the ranch and river fires started on Friday. While their cause is still under investigation, CAL FIRE says steep, dry terrain and western winds are making the flames spread fast. The fire's movement often unpredictable.
So we're not out of the woods by any means. There's a lot of really dry fuel out there.
There's 5 helicopters, I don't know how many tankers, 2 bulldozers.
Soria says with all the firefighters and aircraft around today, he does feel much better about his ranch's chances of survival than he did yesterday.
All this in front of us is burnt up. The only thing that would be a danger if it crossed the highway.
And back out here live, looting is a serious concern here in Lake County tonight. But as many firefighters as there are just as many police officers from all over Northern California who are now patrolling the streets because, again, even though the people are out, they do want to make sure nobody else is getting in. Reporting live in Lake County tonight, Doug Johnson, Fox 40 News. The owner here says he wanted to share his story because he feels like a lot of people who rely on independent contractors, rely on their labor, really aren't even aware of this issue. And he says what's happening at his business could soon happen to many, many more here in the state of California.
What are we doing on the cut?
At Bottle and Barlow on R Street in Sacramento.
How short do you want to go on the sides? Short.
Owner Anthony Giannotti is the only one cutting hair.
Unfortunately, I can't. I lost my whole staff. Okay. But we'll be back up and running next week.
And it's costing him business.
Just that interaction alone, I just lost money. That's money walking out the door. That guy may or may not ever be back. Most likely won't be back.
7 of the shop's barbers quit the same day Giannotti told them he could no longer keep independent contractors and would have to make them his employees.
Something that attracts most of us to this industry is the freedom. I don't want to have a boss above me telling me what to do. And that's kind of what the state's forcing us to do now.
In April, the California Supreme Court released a decision in a case between independent contracted truck drivers and the company they worked for, Dymex Operations West. In it, the High Court released a new ABC test for companies to tell the difference between employees and contractors. Independent contractors must now meet the following guidelines. The individual is free from control and direction, both under his contract and, in fact, the service is performed outside the usual course of the business of the employer. And lastly, the contractor does similar work for other businesses.
We had to structure to employees.
Giannotti says in the end, this is going to drive his costs up, and ultimately, it'll cost us all more to get a haircut.
Most business owners run on thin margins. So when we get these kind of expenses like this, only thing we can do is pass it along to the consumer.
And he warns that decision is not just impacting his business or even only his industry, but all industries that use independent contractor labor.
This has very, very far-reaching implications. Tech industry, construction, FedEx, any sort of delivery that's independent contractors. This is independent contractors statewide.
Clark's sister, grandma, grandfather, they were inside their home while he was in the backyard trying to get inside of that home. And while both tell us they heard the gunshots, and neither grandparent said they heard officers say a word to their grandson before they shot and killed him.
My granddaughter was laying right there on the couch.
Taquita Thompson shows us where she was Sunday night when police gunfire erupted in her backyard.
I went to the floor. And I mean, it was fast. It was a lot of them just go pow, 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 pow.
She grabbed her granddaughter and crawled into her husband's room.
He was saying, somebody was calling me through the window.
Her husband, Tommy Thompson, says he knew by the voice that it was his grandson, 23-year-old Stephon Clark, knocking on his window to be let inside. The disabled elderly couple uses their garage door opener to admit guests.
Like bang, bang, Tom T. And then that's the last I heard.
After hearing the gunshots, they called 911, but police officers were already there. Some officers later entered the home to interview everyone inside.
They finally told me hours later that there was a victim dead in my backyard.
What both husband and wife did not know at the time was the man the police had shot and killed in their backyard was their own grandson. Officers insisted they don't look out their back window, but eventually Sequita did.
He was right there dead. And I told them officers, you guys are murderers, murderers.
We can confirm that there was no firearm found.
Sacramento Police Chief Daniel Hahn says the two officers who opened fire did have body cameras on at the time. His department is working fast to release video of the confrontation to the public.
When we release the video, people will be able to see what the video shows, and then they can see with their own eyes what happened.
The department says the officers issued commands to Clark in the front of the house, but he ran off to the backyard. Later, the department says he came at the officers with a toolbar in his hand, which is when they felt in danger and opened fire. Both Tommy and Sequita Thompson say they never heard police say anything before pulling the trigger.
You could have said halt. Y'all didn't say halt. I heard the gunshots. They took him, and them two officers, they didn't know. God, don't forget, they're going to reap what they sow. Watch, they're going to reap what they sow.
Yeah, and Clark's grandmother and friends held a demonstration today at the state capitol building. And we're told activists will be going to City Hall for tonight's city council meeting. Obviously, this is something I'm sure the city council will have to hear a lot about over the next couple of weeks and months as the investigation continues.